Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Anime Club. This week we watched a rather pleasant series about the nature of racism, bigotry, and the horrors of war. 86.
Yes, it was incredibly... God, I can't keep a straight face and say pleasant. So we watched 86, which was Vorn's pick. So I'll be honest, this was a surprise. I think this was a definite surprise. I don't know how the three of you felt, but this was a surprise for me. And I think that with that, I'm willing to give my rating now.
Okay.
I think that this is God tier.
All right.
Like S-class. A tier.
Oh boy. We might have an A tier in our hands. We'll see what everyone else thinks, though.
Yeah, so I think that this show is absolute A tier. I think everything from the animation to the sound direction to the themes, the story, the background, the amount of
Attention to detail.
the amount of storytelling they were able to convey through backgrounding and aesthetics of the composition of this show is incredible.
I thought the show was absolute shit. Why do you have a 10-minute scene of someone knitting a sweater?
Come on, this wasn't a mecha anime that I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting mechs, like
Go,
spider
Shinji,
drones
get in
with
the robot!
crazy soundtrack and political tension. But instead I got a 5-minute walking montage, a 10-minute sweater knitting montage, and a lizard running across a wall.
Okay, you want to give an actual rating now?
It was good. I absolutely approve. It's probably my third favorite anime of all time at this point. Realm.
I actually give this very much an approved. Sad boy shit all the way.
I liked it. I've been reading the novels before the show came out just based on the synopsis, and I would actually call it out if the show was crap. I've done that before.
I think this show is just fantastic production-wise. Like, above all else, like, you brought up the backgrounds and the cinematography of it all.
Which is not normally something you can bring up in most anime.
Yeah, and I think you have like the god tier music composer Sawano on this, so the music's gonna be fucking fantastic no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah, the soundtrack,
And
ED.
And it's not just that the music itself is good. Like I downloaded an ED because I really liked it, but the placement of each of them and the emotional inflections in where they're placed.
Yeah.
Like, or this might be the very first time I've actually ever sat through the ED of an anime for every episode.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've seen an example of how you can legitimately change the context and emotion in a war battle scene just by what you're listening to in the background under it. Because you go from, there's a battle scene where they're using what I can only describe as an amazingly beautiful ripoff of the first AOT opening, to a battle where it's just playing the saddest, most poignant, like almost a farewell song.
Yeah,
And the battles look the same in a lot of ways, but the music...
I think that works so well because it's just the way the battles are contextualized, which it's different than most battles. But I'll get into that when we get into the story, I think. Mm-hmm. For now, I do agree. Just everything production-wise, like the way it's used is all fantastic, which is surprising because if I'm not wrong, this is an anime directorial debut for the director of this anime.
But it is A1 Pictures, so...
Well, A1 Pictures can range in quality pretty dramatically.
Very, very dramatically. I can attest to that.
True, but it is a show that came out, was it spring this year?
It is brand new.
So spring season this year, the first season came out, so it's 2021 quality in terms of the animation crispness.
Yeah. The animation's impressive on its own, even in the modern quality.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But it's what I would expect from a god tier anime coming out right now. Like, it's almost at a Goblin Slayer level of animation.
I actually wasn't impressed that much with Goblin Slayer's animation. That's not my first go-to comparison.
Goblin Slayer is my first go-to because it's the first modern-day anime that's not like an Iyashikei that has an incredible production quality that I've seen, so it's my automatic go-to.
You've seen Demon Slayer?
Yeah. That's what I just said. Demon Slayer is my go-to.
You said Goblin Slayer.
Oh.
I was like, why do you reference Goblin Slayer? That wasn't that spectacular.
Goddamn. Fucking... Look. Demon Slayer and Goblin Slayer are just...
They're nothing alike. Don't
Differentiate your goddamn names, people.
Learn how to speak more, Seki. Words are not hard, you know?
Words are not hard, you know?
Oh my.
You know?
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 You know? Oh, that's a I'm gonna punch you face.
I'm going to stop both of you right now because I want to talk about the LP.
Yes.
I think the LP was nice, but I actually have heard it before. It was in an anime called Divine Gate. It was an okay one. It's not that great, but like I at least liked that opening for that show. But seeing it reused again, it just really...
Is this a reused OP?
It felt like that to me. I'm not exactly sure, but it sounded pretty much nearly the same. So yeah.
That would be interesting if this is
Seki is doing a quick Google search to figure out that, because I don't think I've ever heard of an OP being reused.
Type Divine Gate.
It was released as a single on June 2nd of this year.
That is definitely brand new.
This
You
is a
might
brand
just be
new-
thinking of Sawano's general style when he picks OPs or
No,
tries to
it
pick
wasn't
OPs.
Sawano, dude.
Well, Sawano didn't do the OP, but he's the one who chooses like the direction he wants the music
Yeah.
to take, and that's how then they select from there.
Actually, no. Give me my phone.
Divine Gate,
Ralph.
you said?
Yeah, Divine Gate. That's the name of it. Oh, you're gonna do it for me. Okay.
Okay, this is the same band,
Oh,
but different
okay.
opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Same
makes
band,
sense.
different opening. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason why I was like so like, wait, does this feel like that to me? Because like I was watching Divine Gate when it came out in 2017 or 18, I think. Yeah.
But same band, just different song. And that's why it sounded so similar to you, because it was sung by the same band.
Yeah.
I will make the comment though, while I really did enjoy the OP, I thought it was quite good, and there were some amazing, like, emotional and thematic moments
The
running
EDs
through
are
the series.
for once that much better.
The
It's not that
EDs
the OP's bad. Actually, the OP's actually amongst our higher quality OPs we've heard in scene.
Yeah.
But those damn EDs.
Thank you for taking everything I was going to say. Fuck you.
It's
No,
because
fuck
of
you,
that-
Seki.
No, but the EDs are fucking beautiful, and there's
Yeah.
two of them, and it doesn't necessarily change at any one point because each of the OPs has a different emotional feel, and so
You mean the EDs? 'Cause they
sorry, each of the EDs has a different. Well, I say OP because we always talk about OP because EDs are usually shit in comparison, but the two EDs that we see here, they're each used with a different emotional attachment. So one of them is very much associated with determination and new starts and that kind of mood in the show, and the other one is more reflective and depressing, and they swap between them depending on how the episode ends and the emotion they want to convey in the final panels when the ED blends in and becomes louder and louder.
It becomes part of the soundtrack and all, which works really great, I think.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful.
One thing I like... Oh, go ahead, Warren.
I think there were 3 EDs. I just wanted to correct you on that.
There were technically.
Yeah.
It's just, however,
There are 3 endings.
Yeah.
It's just like the
In episode 11, it uses the exact same beat as Avid, which
Yeah.
is the sadder song of the two.
No, so
Is there actually like just a whole nother one?
No. ED3 isn't introduced till episode 13, and we're not covering that today.
Oh yeah, I
okay.
forgot about that.
So
Oops, sorry.
because we watched this just now, right? So officially, is this winter season or fall?
We're in fall.
Officially, fall season has started as of the beginning of October.
We made a little fucky wucky.
We made a little fucky wucky. Well, I didn't make a fucky wucky, but the boys did. And they thought it was a 13 episode because on Verve, it just goes straight into episode 13, which is technically the first episode of season 2, which just started
Actually,
airing.
episode 12, and that's what caused it.
12.
Well,
Technically, only Realm made that mistake.
Yeah.
The rest of us didn't, but then I enjoyed the series so much, I continued watching it, and that did color my opinions and my memory of the previous episodes.
Yeah, so when I was watching it with Realm the other day, we kind of saw that it was labeled as season 2, and I went in and looked, and season 2 is coming out this season as we're watching season 1.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
topical.
really great for me.
Actually, Realm wasn't technically wrong. It did originally release with 12. They just moved the 12th episode over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they saw, oh wait, this is too well, we can get a season 2.
I'm pretty sure I watched
Well, no,
12.
they were already planning a season 2 because there's first court and then second court.
Why don't we address that in the story, and then we'll figure out where you ended it.
Yeah. That was confusing. Either way. so going back to animation and such. So the animation was beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the big things, I touched on it earlier, is this is something that I see very rarely outside of maybe movies and a few notable exceptions, is there is a lot of detail and focus put into, for example, the backgrounding. And because there's so much detail and focus put into the backgrounding in every scene, so much that sometimes the backgrounding changes even when you're looking at the same thing from episode to episode. They'll have it actually change in between to show the passage of time. But because of that, the backgrounding can convey its own stylistic, like thematic and setting moments and meanings, which is really interesting. And it's something that I'm very into because I love Ghibli movies. And Ghibli movies, the backgrounding often conveys things to the audience without having to say them out loud. And then the regular animation itself, like the characters and such, is just good.
Yeah.
It's fucking good. It's no X-Arm, people. Topical reference.
Yeah, there's a
Not
lot
really.
of
There's a
hidden
new
stuff.
anime that's X-Arm bad.
But I haven't I haven't looked at what's coming out this season yet.
Second, I probably would recommend you don't speak into your cup. It's probably very, very disturbing.
Why? Do you people not like the sound of my voice like this?
Oh no!
I mean, you're the
You
one
two are
editing,
not.
but
You're the one editing. It's up to
Actually,
you if you wanna make a hard
Realm
one.
and I were laughing yesterday. One of the characters actually speaks into her mug at one point, and it comes out all muffled and muted on the audio. And Realm was like, "That's not how it sounds when you speak into a mug." So I raised my glass to my mouth and spoke into it. I was like, "Yes, it is."
Yes, it is. Depending on what it's actually made out of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depends on what it is, but oh god, I just have so many strong feelings towards specifically the animation and music of this anime, and that's not normally something I could ever say. So y'all can go now.
I mean, what more is there to say? I think, I have one thing to say is in regards to the EDs, I guess. The EDs I find fascinating because even though, yes, we do have the dichotomy between the more depressing one and the more hopeful one, they sometimes mix that up a little bit. Sometimes the more hopeful one ends up feeling a lot more bittersweet than hopeful.
But that goes along with what imagery they're showing.
Yeah.
So the ending imagery is different every episode. They always change it up. There's like a different sequence of like pictures on screen or like animations. And so depending on what it is, it can change the tone of the sound, but the sound can change the tone of the final scene.
And sometimes the more depressing one can come off a little bit more nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be said about just how well, like we brought it up earlier, how well this is used in conjunction with just everything else, such as the storytelling, like the framing of that specific part, the scene composition, just everything comes together at the end of every episode, it seems like.
Yeah. Their structure of their episodes are really, really nice.
And for a first-time director, I mean, bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo. That was fucking beautiful. And I mean, it's one thing for Knick Knack to like, this kind of thing because he's
It's
really
one thing
into
for me
that.
to start like getting all orgasmic about a soundtrack.
Yeah, or like Realm or Vorn to be like, oh my god, this is so good. But I think the thing here is that maybe you guys don't see if you've not watched our videos, but of the four of us, I have arguably the tastes that run the least in the direction of this show. Like, I don't watch war shows. I don't watch mecha shows. I don't watch stuff like this at all, and I never care about sound quality or animation, really, because I'm so used to watching stuff like Dragon Ball. So, I mean, for it to be something that I'm championing, this show is god tier.
Yeah, that's why I was giving you, like, a hesitant, like, you'll probably do, like, a uwu or something like that during the last episode. I don't remember what I said that you might
I don't know
choose.
if you can give this show an uwu.
No, this show
No.
this show does not deserve an uwu in any standard.
No, like,
No.
last time when we were recording, like, you guys
I
asked
think
me
you-
what, like, my thoughts were on what you guys would choose.
Yeah, I think you thought
Yeah.
I'd be at either a meh or a no. And it's true that I will say this touches a little on story and themes, but I'm not going to actually get into it. This is not what Seki defines as a mech show.
Yeah, it really
No.
isn't.
I'll be very specific there. This is not what I define as a mech show.
I'm sure we'll get to it when we get to it. I think I think I've brought this up in private conversation at this point, but a lot of what your definition of mech show is very colored by a lack of exposure to the genre. beyond
Which
Gundam.
is why I said opinion. We'll get into it later.
We get into it now and we fight to the death now.
And I will punch you in the face for peeking the mic now!
As you peek the mic again!
You guys can fight in the next section.
Why don't we stop peeking the mic and just fight in the next section?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we all done?
Yeah, 4 approvals. This is our second A tier.
Yeah, I guess Lucky Star wasn't A tier, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's second.
But I'm gonna be honest, this beats out Lucky Star.
Oh, seriously. So we can place this in front of Lucky Star.
Yeah, almost. I mean, we'll still have our normal tier thing at the end of the season.
Yeah.
To vote on best of season, but this is definitely
This is
up
a
there.
huge front runner right now, I think.
Yeah, like
We're still early on, though.
To put it into perspective, we have filmed 2 full seasons of this podcast, at approximately, I'd say, an average of maybe 18 unique anime per season, and this is only the second show that I would define as God tier overall. Only. So.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Try harder.